everybody. So today I have a review for you on All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Now this is a book that's been getting a fair amount of buzz, and I picked it up because it sounded like something I would enjoy. World War II story, you know, lots of people coming together in intricate ways, that sort of thing. And the only problem was I had tons of good books on my shelf, didn't know what to read, so I sent a picture of my bookshelf to Les and a couple other people, and this was the top book that was picked, specifically by Les, actually. And so I read it next. We basically have two main characters. Their names are Werner, who is a German Hitler Youth, and then we have Marie-Laure, who is a blind girl living in Paris with her father. And the story follows both of them very equally, actually, through a number of years in their life. Starts off when they're young, about 6 to 8 or so, and then goes all the way up until the end of the war at least, and actually goes a bit beyond that too, so you get to follow them through a large portion of their time being alive. Werner is a orphan living with his sister in Zollverein. I don't actually know how to pronounce that, but that's how I was saying when I was reading the book. And basically his life is going to be working in the coal mines unless something dramatic happens. And something dramatic happens. He is actually a pretty intelligent person, and he ends up going to this school for basically what we think of as Hitler Youth. He's really good with radios, and he eventually ends up as a soldier in the war working with radios and things like that. Marie-Laure is in Paris with her father, and her father works at the museum there and is the sort of the master of all the keys. And then the Germans come. Her and her father flee to a seaside village kind of near Mont Saint-Michel, and they stay with her great uncle. Their lives are very separate, but they are affected by a lot of the same things, and there are certain instances, events that happen that tie them together without them knowing, and you spend much of this book just following them individually. The friends that they make, the problems that they face, how they're kind of figuring out how to survive in a world that is very extreme. Living in Europe in the 30s and 40s when things were, you know, kind of shaky. We have these fantastic characters. We have a blind girl who has to learn how to fend for herself in a world that is completely against her. And we have an orphan boy who is intelligent but is being pushed into situations that he doesn't necessarily want to be part of. He knows it's his way out, so he doesn't have to work in the coal mines, but at the same time, he doesn't totally believe in everything he's being taught and told to do. They're so interesting and compelling characters. That was fantastic to read about. The book is superbly written. Their chapters are very short, so it feels like you're flying through the book, and every single time Anthony Doerr ends a chapter, it just sounds so perfect. I love the way he wrapped it up, but kept it really nice, because sometimes authors aren't really good at ending chapters, but he was really, really good at it, which is good because his chapters were sometimes 2 pages long. And the characters, you become very attached to them because you follow them through so much of their life. You are rooting for them. You want them to do well, to be happy, to have everything work out for them in a situation where you know things aren't going to completely work out. And I also learned some things. In terms of things I didn't like as much in the book, it felt like I was expecting the two characters to sort of be tied together a bit more. I expected them to meet sooner, honestly, and to have their stories really cross a lot sooner than they actually did. And so I felt like I was waiting for something that wasn't happening. And there were certain chapters that I was kind of felt were unnecessary because they are so short. I was thinking, do we really need to have this little snippet? Could we just have kind of cut that out and kept the story moving more effectively? The first huge chunk of the book, I was like, this is enjoyable, but I really feel like I could be getting more from certain parts. And then I got to the last 100 pages or so, and things got very intense and very interesting and very moving, and there was points where, one specific point where if you've read the book you know what I'm talking about, where I got kind of angry and sort of had to pause and step away from the story for a little bit before coming back to it. But those last 100 pages were really, really fantastic. So that makes it not quite a 5-star book. I did decide to give it 4 stars because it was very good, well written, with really interesting, likable characters, but there was just little things that I wanted to change. I felt like I was waiting too much for certain things to happen. Some of the chapters were unnecessary, that sort of thing, and it just didn't quite play up to be a 5-star for me, but it is still a very strong book, and if you're looking to pick it up and read it, I would definitely do so. I know people that love this book. It was their favorite book that they read last year, that sort of thing. So depending on how you like your stories to be told, this could be the perfect kind of book for you, because there is a pretty slow burn for a lot of it, with little big things happening, if you know what I mean, little big things, before getting to the big things that I was kind of hoping would happen a little bit sooner. So if you guys have read All the Light We Cannot See, let me know what you thought of it below. If you liked or didn't like it, maybe it didn't live up to the hype as much for you as it might have for other people, let me know. As always, all the links are in the doobly-doo. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you later.